A quiet Friday evening, October 12th, 2012, a modest condominium in Highland Heights, Kentucky. Inside, an ordinary scene about to become extraordinary and tragic. A young man, a young woman, a relationship spiraling, and in moments, everything changes, everything ends. What if the line between love and obsession could be so thin that it draws blood? What if a breakup became a reason to take a life? What if someone you love becomes someone you kill? On that autumn night, Ryan Poston, a successful 29-year-old attorney, never made it to his date. Shayna Hubers, his 21-year-old girlfriend, made sure of that. Not with her words, not with her presence, but with 6 bullets. She called 911 and said it was self-defense. But the evidence tells a different story. The truth is buried somewhere between the lies. This is the dark truth. We don't just tell stories, we unravel them, we expose them. Stay with us as we explore a case that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about love, possession, and the terrifying moment when one of those things dies. And someone pulls a trigger. Shayna Michelle Hubers seemed like she had everything going for her. Smart, beautiful, raised in a good family. The kind of young woman parents quietly wish their child might become. She had goals, ambition, college dreams painted in bright colors. But beneath that promising exterior, something darker grew. When Shayna met Ryan Carter Poston in 2011, she was just 19. Ryan was a lawyer, successful, handsome, 8 years older. To Shayna, he looked like stability, sophistication, a young man who had his life mapped out. Social media painted them as happy, pictures of smiles, vacations, cozy moments. To the outside world, they were golden. But reality was far more complicated. Ryan's friends noticed troubling patterns. He seemed trapped, uncomfortable. He was the kind of man who wanted out, but was too kind to make a sharp, clean break. Shayna was obsessive. She monitored his movements, demanded his time, questioned his loyalty. Her need for reassurance became overwhelming, aggressive. Her text messages painted a dark dissent. He says he is only with me because I make him feel so awful when I cry. My love has turned to hate not faded, not lost, but turned toxic. Ryan tried to end things gently. Shayna wouldn't let go. As 2012 wore on, Shayna's behavior changed. Ryan made it clear he wanted out. He'd met someone new, Audrey Bolt, Miss Ohio 2012. He needed a fresh start. Shayna refused. Her messages grew darker. Calls became relentless. Accusations turned wild. Shayna began claiming Ryan was abusive, obsessed with violence. But the evidence did not add up. Witnesses saw no abuse. Ryan's family said he was gentle, conflict-averse. Friends described him as kind and patient, not the monster Shayna described. Yet she refused to release the narrative. She kept adding detail, almost as if building the lie convinced her it was truth. Then came a chilling hint, the first sign of haunting intent. Just days before the murder, Shayna texted her friend, "I want to go to a shooting range with Ryan tonight. I want to turn around and shoot him and play like it's an accident." She sent photos of herself with guns. Nobody took her seriously. Nobody imagined fantasy would become reality in a matter of days. As October 12th approached, Ryan was desperate to break free. He confided to his stepfather he was finally going to end things with Shayna, for good. He planned a date with Audrey that very night. Clean break, new chapter. But Shayna had other plans. The quiet terror Ryan felt lingered in the background, the kind that never makes headlines, but rattles around your chest before disaster. Ryan arrived home that Friday evening. He believed his condo was safe, his own sanctuary. Shayna was waiting, uninvited. Obsessed people do not wait. They do not ask permission. What occurred next remains locked behind contested accounts. Shayna claimed she acted in self-defense, but evidence told another story. Shayna told police that Ryan attacked her, that she feared for her life, reached for a gun, and fired. But the forensic evidence fractured her story. The first bullet struck Ryan's head from above. No blood on the front of his shirt, which meant he was sitting down, not standing, not aggressive. Shayna then fired 5 more times. That is not blind panic. That is not a split-second decision. That is calculated, deliberate. Her confession chilled investigators. I shot him probably 6 times. I shot him in the head. He fell onto the ground. He was laying like this. His glasses were still on. He was twitching some more. I shot him a couple more times just to make sure he was dead, because I didn't want to watch him die. Not self-defense, but execution. Shayna waited up to 15 minutes. No calls for help, no first aid, just silence, blood, and a gun. Finally, she dialed 911. Ryan was found dead on his dining room floor. In the police interrogation room, everything shifted. Shayna spent nearly 3 hours talking after requesting a lawyer. She described shooting Ryan in the face, even joked, "He's very vain." I gave him the nose job he always wanted. She was eerily calm, recounting details as if she were sharing groceries rather than murder. Then, the moment that haunted the case forever. When left alone, filmed continuously, Shayna sang "Amazing Grace." She danced. She laughed. She rehearsed lines. Her performance convicted her as much as the bullet trajectory. One utterance itched under the skin of the prosecution. "I'm so good at acting." Every claim became an act. Every tear, every plea, every story, performed. Prosecutor Michelle Snodgrass captured the horror. Within hours of putting 6 bullets into Ryan Poston and watching him die, she danced and sang. April 2015, over 2 years after the murder. Shayna, held on a $5 million bond, waited in jail for justice. Prosecutors brought the texts, the threats, her obsession, her dark fantasies. Forensic evidence, trajectory. No sign of struggle. The interrogation video played for the jury. Her singing, her dancing, her morbid humor. The defense argued battered woman syndrome and self-defense. They painted Shayna as a victim, but the jury didn't believe it. 5 hours of deliberation. Guilty, murder, 40-year sentence. But in 2016, the conviction was overturned. A juror had an undisclosed felony. Retrial. August 2018. Same evidence, same videos, the same chilling truth. Again, guilty. This time, life. Parole eligible. 2032. A question lingers. Not, did Shayna kill Ryan? That's proven. But who is Shayna Hubers? Was she abused? The evidence says no. Was she mentally ill? She was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, emotional dysregulation, fear of abandonment. But diagnosis is not justification for murder. Was she obsessed? Undeniably. Her texts, her monitoring, her fantasies all point to deadly obsession. In prison, more emerged. Shayna bragged to cellmates. She joked about shooting Ryan and claimed superior intelligence, strategizing her legal defense. She'd say rules didn't apply to her, that she deserved whatever she wanted. Her cellmates painted a portrait not of a victim, but a predator. Someone so consumed by her own desires that murder was a solution. Not love, possession, violence as justice. Let's not forget who lost everything. Ryan Poston. At just 29, Ryan never saw his date with Audrey Bolt, never married, never had children, a promising career, a loving family, a future, vanished in gunshots fired by the woman he tried to leave. His stepfather said, "Evil, for reasons only evil understands, took it upon herself to deprive us of something she could never have. A life stolen, a family broken, and a woman sitting behind bars clinging to the story that she was misunderstood." Years later, this case leaves haunting questions. How do we spot obsession before it becomes lethal? How many people monitor partners, joke about violence, send threatening texts? How often do people use claims of abuse to mask their own violence? Most painfully, if love is something we kill to keep, was it ever love at all? Shayna Hubers was twice convicted, eligible for parole in 2032. For Ryan Poston's family, there can be no true justice. No verdict gives Ryan back. Only memory remains. The case of Shayna Hubers and Ryan Poston is a reminder that evil doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't always come with warning signs written in neon. Sometimes it comes quietly, with a smile, with a text message, with a gun on a table. And if you ever find yourself obsessed with someone, obsessed to the point where you can't let them go, where you can't accept their leaving, where you're making plans to hurt them, please seek help. Talk to a therapist. Talk to a counselor. Because love should never end in a body on the floor. Thank you for watching The Dark Truth. Please subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. Share this video with someone who needs to understand what obsession can do. And remember, the truth is often darker than fiction. Sometimes the most shocking crimes are committed not by strangers in the night, but by people we love in moments we never saw coming. Until next time, keep watching, keep questioning, keep seeking the truth.